So good evening, or should I say good morning, because it is around 1:30 a.m. technically on Sunday night, but we'll call it Monday morning so that this can actually be a normal weekly reading vlog. But I am in the office in the morning. My Christmas holidays are over, but I have just finished editing my best books of 2019, so I'll be setting that to export very soon. But I don't know what I'm currently reading because I need to do week 5 of the magical readathon. Also, sorry for this poor lighting. It's not ideal, but we'll work with it. Okay, so I have the magical readathon open. I have opened it. I am a little bit worried about opening this week because I have seen quite a few people on Twitter with 3 prompts. If I can fill 3 prompts with books off my Bookopoly TBR, then that is fine, but yeah, we'll have to see. So another month has passed and we've been trying to uncover the mystery of the air. Professor Sprout has been brewing the potion that will unpetrify people. So people are having a party. My options of entertainment at the party: I can dance to Weird Sisters, play a game of gobstones, or sneak in a butterbeer. I'm going to sneak in a butterbeer. Next thing you know, you're finishing a late lunch the next day in a very secluded great hall asking Neville what his plan is. So I've gone to help Professor Sprout and Neville with the mandragora stuff that they're doing, and now I will enter the castle. I'm heading back. Her skeleton will lie in the chamber forever. Okay, so Ginny's been taken into the chamber. In chapter 4, which of the following thing happened to you? I followed the spider, I met Fort, Dobby sent a bludger after me. I believe I followed the spiders. You allow yourself 10 minutes of pure panic and pacing, and then you gather yourself. Okay, think, what can I do? What do you know? Roosters, yes. Let's find a rooster. It won't be easy, but you can do it. Prompt number 1, read a book with a bird, winged creature, or feathers on the cover. I'm just gonna go have a look. Okay, so I checked the TBR cart. The top shelf just there is my monthly TBR, and I have nothing on there that fulfills this prompt, so we're gonna carry on. And then when I get to the end, if there's none that I can fulfill with my immediate TBR, then we'll go find something. Going to find Myrtle. Nope, I did not see Myrtle at the Death Day party. Okay, so my next prompt is to tweet a funny story. No, I did not discover that I can speak parcel tongue. Read the first book you think about. Fuck. Oh my god, no I can't. Obsidio, I guess. Fuck, yeah. Oh. I guess I will finally be reading Obsidio by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman this week. This is on my Bookopoly TBR to fulfill the prompt one of the many times I got read a sci-fi. And yeah, this is the 3rd book in the Illuminate files. So that is on my TBR for this week. Entering the Chamber of Secrets. Do I go left or right to find Ginny? Left. Right, I need to solve a riddle. A rooster flies up to the top of the roof with the wind blowing from the south. When it lays an egg, on which side of the roof will the egg roll? Tell me this. Left or right? Neither. There's a basilisk. Who are you here with? Dobby, a rooster, or by myself? So my reading prompt is to read a book that's shorter than the one I finished before. And that is it. So a book that's shorter than the one I finished before. The last book I finished was Birthday by Meredith Russo, which was 300 pages. So I think I'm actually going to go for To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. This could be the shortest book on my TBR this month. Let's have a look. 138 pages. This is a sci-fi novella. There is a lot in the synopsis, so I don't really know how to describe it to you right now, but as I'm reading it I will obviously let you know. So we have Obsidio and we have To Be Taught If Fortunate, and now we need to find a book that has a bird, a feather, or a winged creature on the cover. So let's go look for that. So we already established that there's nothing up here for me to read. Oh, I did some cart decoration as well and I haven't shown you guys. This is from my last haul, still haven't put these away. And these are my library books. So I guess the smart thing to do was see if I can find a library book that has a bird on. That would work. Nope, nothing on there or there or on that one. So this one is definitely an option. I do want to check the manga that I have though. These were gifted to me. I think these were both from Mora. No birds or feathers on there. I really want to read this. No birds or feathers on there. What about this? Nope. No birds or feathers on there either. Okay, so I can't find anything else with birds on. I mean, I have plenty with birds on, but nothing that I kind of want to read as a priority. No, we'll stick with Nevermore. There's a couple of little crows on here, and this is Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. This is a middle grade story who follows Morrigan, who is a cursed child, and she is destined to die on her 10th birthday or 11th birthday, and just before she's about to die, a man called Jupiter North swoops in and takes her away to Nevermore, where she has some magical tournament to compete in. Everybody loves this story. I know Gavin's going to be excited that I'm reading this. I do want to read it, not necessarily what I wanted to read right this moment, but I will. So this is my stack for this week. We'll see what I get through. I'm trying to read an average of a book every 3 days, so at least the first 2 will help me with that, and then Obsidio might be a little bit more challenging. But yeah, these are my books. I'm gonna go now. I'm going to set my video that I've just edited to upload and then get some sleep, and I'll check in with you when I know a little bit more about what Nevermore is about. Hey guys, so I have been reading Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. I'm on page 150 exactly, and I really like this so far. So as I said, technically yesterday, but it was like it was like Sunday night but Monday morning, you know what I mean. This is a middle grade story that follows Morrigan Crow, who is a cursed child. She's the daughter of the, I think he's like a governor, and she lives with her father, her stepmother, and her grandmother. Now, because she's this cursed child, everything bad that happens in the town that she lives is blamed on her. Her family aren't really that nice to her about it. They pretty much treat her like a burden. So she is destined to die on the eve of her 11th birthday. I'm not really sure how time works in this book yet. Essentially, the time where she's about to die actually comes a year too soon, when Jupiter North, who is this flamboyant, eccentric beauty that I absolutely adore, swoops in and takes Morrigan away to Nevermore. Now, I thought Nevermore was like a magic school situation, but it isn't. Nevermore is in a place that is not very well known in the regular world, and in this world there is bid day, where children can be bid on by various schools and academies to pretty much become apprentices. So that is what Jupiter North does, and he takes her to Nevermore so that she can compete in a series of trials which will allow her to become a member of the Wondrous Society, which I'm still not really sure what the Wondrous Society are, but a specification of even being allowed to compete in the trials is that you have to have a knack, which is some special talent or skill or selling point that nobody else has. And Jupiter has picked Morrigan because he believes that she has a knack. However, all of the other children that are competing in these trials are aware of what their knack is, and Morrigan cannot for the life of her figure out what it is that is special about her, aside from the fact that she's a cursed child, and she's really worried about this being like her special ability. So this is just, it's wonderful, it's whimsical, it's magical. The writing style is really transferable to all ages. I wouldn't class this as just a children's book. I have read a couple of other children's books that I would say are not just for children, one of them being Northern Lights, another being Howl's Moving Castle by Diana Wynne Jones. I would compare this more to Howl's Moving Castle than I would Northern Lights, because like Howl's Moving Castle, this is very much a children's story. You can tell it's a children's story, where Northern Lights is kind of almost an adult fantasy, but it has just this extra layer of depth and things that are appealing to adults. But I think it kind of speaks to the inner child within the adult and the inner sense of whimsy, which I really love. I'm also kind of in love with Jupiter North. He reminds me a lot of Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. Like I said, he's one of those flamboyant, eccentric characters who's really charming and can bullshit his way out of everything. So I'm really appreciating him, and I'm excited to see where this story is going to take me, because I think I am around a third of the way through this now. So I'm really glad that I'm enjoying this actually, because if you remember, I wasn't really in the mood for it, but I'm having a really great time. So I'm gonna read some more of this a little bit later on. I have a few candle orders to pack tonight. Last week I announced that I'm now fully self-employed, and then at the end of the week I was feeling anxious about going back to work. I'm feeling much better now. I'm actually not in work for the next 2 days, which the beauty of being self-employed. I had 2 weeks off work, worked for 2 days, and now I have 2 days off again, so I should have finished Nevermore pretty soon. But while I have 2 days off, they're not really 2 days off. All of the supplies that I need to fulfill all of your guys' candle orders for the new release will arrive Wednesday, Thursday, so I'm taking those 2 days to predominantly work on candle stuff. I am also going to film and edit 2 YouTube videos tomorrow, so that will be all of my videos done for the week. So I'm using my time productively, but one of the big gripes that I had with being at work last year is that on quiet afternoons I was starting to really resent the fact that I had to stay in the office even though I wasn't needed there. I was working, but I wasn't doing stuff that needed doing because all of the orders had been fulfilled when I could have been at home actually doing something that I needed to do. So this is really giving me the time to do that, which I'm actually really loving. So even though I am off work tomorrow, I do plan on getting up early at like my normal work time and pretty much doing YouTube and candles like I would in a normal working day and see how much I can get done, because I'm honestly really excited to have my evenings and weekends back. Like, you have no idea. So I've got to go pack those candle orders, but before I do, this arrived today, which is a pretty chunky Amazon parcel. So yeah, it's kind of, I don't know how much is in here because it is big, but it's kind of loose, so it's not like fully packed. I'm gonna crack this open and see what's inside. Are there any notes in here? There's 3 books. Fucking hell, there's 3 books in here, guys. I don't want to look. No, I don't think there's a note in here. Okay, so first up we have Feed by Myra Grant. This is really funny that this just turned up actually, because Rachael just commented on one of my videos, I don't know which one it was, but she said that maybe I would like Into the Drowning Deep by Myra Grant, who is also known as Shauna Maguire. So if you remember a couple of weeks back when I read I Am Legend, I have been looking for books that are super scientific but deal with something a little bit supernatural, or of course are science fiction, and I think that is why Rachael was recommended Into the Drowning Deep. So I was going to add it to my wish list, but I did already have Feed on there and I kind of wanted to try this one first. So this is Myra Grant's zombie series. I don't know how many books are in this series. I think there are 4 in a collection of short stories, and the series is called Newsflash, but this takes place in 2014 where humanity has conquered cancer and the common cold, but unfortunately amongst all of these medical advances, something else has surfaced, which is an infection that takes over the human brain and tells everybody that they must feed. So super excited for this. Oh, I want to read this now actually, like right now. Okay, next up we have The Bone Witch by Rinchipeko. This paperback is a really soft and fluffy one as well. I like this. Wow. So this is the first book in a fantasy series. I think it's a trilogy, and I believe that it is about necromancy. I know a lot of people who really love this series. I think Mel to the Any really loves this series. I believe that Rinchipeko is Chinese Filipino. Yes, that makes sense because Mel to the Any reads a lot of books by Filipino authors. I have been trying to read more books by POC authors, so that's great. And I don't think I've really read a book about necromancy either, and I believe that this one's pretty good. Then the last book in here is a hardback. There's no notes in this box. King of Scars by Leigh Bardugo. Is this, let me look. It is! Oh my god. So can't lie guys, I don't know much about the plot of this, but I don't really need to. This is the 6th book in the Grishaverse and the first book in Nikolai's duology, I think it is. So Nikolai is a character who's introduced in Siege and Storm, I believe is the 2nd book in the Grisha trilogy, and he is my favorite character in the entire Grishaverse. I also believe that this follows at least one character from Six of Crows, and there is at least one other character from the Grishaverse in here, but this follows my bae Nikolai. I was kind of excited for this, but because it has a character from Six of Crows in, I did need to read Six of Crows before I read this, which I have read now, but I still need to buddy read Cookie Kingdom with Jade. I need to talk to Jade. We need to sort that out. So yeah, I don't know the plot of this, but this is Nikolai's story, and I have been saying since the Grisha ended, so before Six of Crows was published, I have been saying that Nikolai needed his own story, and then it was published, which I was super happy about. But I have actually heard that this is pretty disappointing. A lot of people gave it 2 stars, so I do hope I love it, and I hope that even if it's not great, that Nikolai's still great. So now that I've got all those out, I will check the box. There's no note in here. So thank you so much whoever sent me these 3 books. I don't know who you are, but I am eternally grateful. I will try and reach out on Twitter and find out who these are from. If I was successful, I'll put whoever's name it is up here, but if there is no name there, then I have not been successful. So if you see this, please let me know who you are so I can thank you properly. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do some candle orders, and then I'm gonna read some of Nevermore, and then hopefully I may play a little bit of Death Stranding. So I'm reading the chapter in Nevermore that's called The Gossamer Line. It's like chapter 19 or something, on page 287, and it's making me really sad and anxious. and I want it to stop. I keep thinking that at some point it's gonna stop and everything is gonna be fine, but then it just keeps going. So now I'm like avoiding reading because it needs to stop. Good evening, guys and girls. So last night I did finish Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. I really liked this book. I gave it 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I don't really know what to say about it because I'm not really good at reviewing children's books, and because it's not something I normally read. Like, I think that this book was very near perfect. I loved it so much. I think that Jessica Townsend did an excellent job on the atmosphere in here. I don't necessarily agree with the people who say that it's like reading Harry Potter in the terms of how you feel when you're reading it, but I kind of get the similarity in the world of Nevermore and kind of all of the world in this, and the comparison between that and Hogwarts, because there's things in here, like there's a brolly rail, which is like a transportation system where you hook an umbrella onto something and then like travel through the air on a rail, and the way that Jessica Townsend inserts these things into this book is just so natural. Like, it's the most normal thing in the world, and they're not overly explained like, hey, look at this fun, fantastical, quirky concept, and it feels real. Even though there's so many fantastical things going on, like there's a chandelier that grows, and as it grows it keeps shifting shapes. All of the rooms in the Hotel Deucalion shift regularly depending on what mood they're in, and it's all of these fantastical things, but they just feel so real and tangible and natural. And that is where I feel the comparison to Harry Potter, in that you just feel a part of this world, and all of these aspects just feel completely normal, and Nevermore feels like a place that you could go, and it's a completely fictional, fantastical place. I loved it. As you guys may have seen from the b-roll, I loved it so much I went to the library and I picked up Wondersmith before I'd even finished Nevermore. I still had like 50 pages left, and I looked at the library catalogue and saw that it was in stock, and I was like, I have to go and get this now, just in case when I go to return things next week it isn't available. So I have this, and I kind of just want to dive into it right now, but I'm not going to because it is a little bit chunky. Also, I ordered myself a copy of Nevermore because I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but under the dust jacket, the naked hardcovers have an actual picture across them. So I saw that, which was really stunning, and I love this book so much. And then I looked up Wondersmith, and the hardcover also has something painted underneath, so I decided I want this series in hardback. And these are actually selling for £150 on eBay for the ones with the sprayed edges. I have just gotten a normal one, and I'm hoping that it has the art under the dust jacket, otherwise I'm going to be sad. But I finished this. This was for the magical readathon to read a book with a bird on the cover. I was going to pick up Obsidio, but I am going to listen to the audiobook at the same time as reading Obsidio and also annotate it. And last night I was getting in the bath and I didn't feel comfortable listening to an audiobook in the bath because I didn't want to take headphones into the bath with me, but I didn't want it on a speaker where I couldn't pause it when I had to duck my head under to wash my hair and stuff. So I did start To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. I'm not that far into this. I'm going to read a little bit in a minute because Curtis has gone to get batteries so we can play Divinity 2 because the controllers are low. I'm on page 34 of this. This book was gifted to me by Rebecca, so thank you, Rebecca, for that. I don't really know too much about this right now. Becky Chambers writes very character-driven science fiction, and this only has around 130 pages, and so I'm not really sure that this is actually going to be about much of anything. This takes place in a future where humanity has learned how to alter their enzymes to adapt to space travel, so I'm assuming that there's real science in here. But apparently when humans leave the Earth's atmosphere, they are subject to increased amounts of radiation, which can significantly increase the risk of getting cancer. So humans have created this enzyme patch which allows astronauts to go into space and experience other planets, having had their genetics slightly altered so that they can survive better in those environments. So this follows a small crew with 4 people in it that are the first people to discover this new, I think it's a moon moon. I don't think it's a planet. And this little novella is the astronauts' account that they are sending back to Earth. The way that this starts off is like a little introduction that is kind of a letter to the people on Earth, and apparently this will take 14 years to travel to Earth from the moon or planet that they're on, and 14 years for them to receive a reply, which is 28 years. So I'm assuming that they find something on this planet. As I said, Becky Chambers is predominantly character driven, so I don't think it's going to be a big action plot or a big catastrophe or anything. At the moment I am enjoying it. I think one of the things that's standing out to me as well is that Becky Chambers just seems to have thought of everything. Like, there'll be little details in here that I hadn't even thought of, like how the spacecraft is kitted out with all these little things that the astronauts will need when they reach their destination, that are things which are things that I feel like you just wouldn't normally think of, and it's really thoughtful at the moment. So I won't tell you too much else because I don't know much else, and also it's really short, so if I tell you too much now I won't have anything to tell you later. Now the last thing, I have one more thing to show you guys, and that is that I have an Amazon parcel that arrived yesterday. I was supposed to update you yesterday because I was off work, but I was working from home, and I essentially just finished working later than I expected to and got straight in the bath and then played Divinity 2 with Curtis, which I'm waiting for him to come back so I can do that now. But this is one that I've ordered myself, I believe, if that's what I think it is, and this is not something I ordered for myself. Okay, so where is the parcel I ordered for myself? Anyway, this is Lady Hotspur by Tessa Gratton. This is off my wish list. This is not what I ordered. Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. That is what I thought was in this package. Oh, it's from Linda. Thank you so much, Linda. You really didn't have to buy me anything else. You spoiled me at Christmas. It says, congratulations on the big changes. You are going to do great. Thank you so much. That's so thoughtful. Lady Hotspur by Tessa Gratton. The other book that I've read by Tessa Gratton, which was The Queens of Innislea, was in my most disappointing books of 2019. However, I did say in that video it is just because I expected something completely different from that book, and I think that now that I'm more aware of what these books are going to be like, I can enjoy them a lot more when I'm going into them expecting what the book is actually about. So Lady Hotspur is not a sequel or anything to The Queens of Innislea, but it is the same kind of concept, and I believe it's set in the same world, albeit in a different time period. So The Queens of Innislea was a King Lear retelling. Curtis is just coming back, you can hear the keys. This one is a King Henry IV, is it? I'm not familiar with Shakespeare's King plays. Yeah, I said it wrong, but I was right. It's a Henry IV retelling. So from the dust jacket, I believe that this is about two princes who are fighting over the throne. However, I believe that the princes are actually female from the pronouns used in this dust jacket, and in between those two battling it out, we have Lady Hotspur. Now the one thing I do know about this is that it contains a female-female romance. Tessa Gratton is in a female-female relationship herself, so I've been waiting for some female-female rep in her books because there wasn't any in The Queens of Innislea, I don't believe, if I remember correctly. So I'm really excited about that aspect of this, and I think now I know a little more of what to expect from this one, I will enjoy it more than The Queens of Innislea. So thank you very much, Linda, for this. It is a chunky one, so not sure when I'm going to tackle this beast, but Mel from Mel's Leonie did want to buddy read this with me, so I may message her now that I have it. So Curtis has returned with the batteries, so we're going to play some Divinity 2, and later on tonight I'll see if I can read a little bit more of this one. So I just watched After. I know, I don't know why I did it. I should have believed you guys when you said that it was just bad. I also last night I read a few chapters of the book, just like skipped to like the good parts. When you guys said it was bad, I thought you were being dramatic. You weren't being dramatic. It's just bad. Hey guys, so I finished To Be Taught If Fortunate by Becky Chambers. It's a little bit different than I thought it was actually. It doesn't just follow them on the one moon, it was a moon. This tiny little novella actually follows this team of astronauts as they are sent on a mission from the agency, I would say, that they work for, to go and scout out multiple places. So I think they visit 4 places in total. Now each place is very different, and some places they love, some places are quite nightmarish, and along the way there are quite a few revelations that throw the purpose of their mission and what they are doing on these planets into new light. So I gave this 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I thought that the first half was a little bit slow. As I've said multiple times, Becky Chambers writes predominantly character driven stories, and so So this was more of a speculative novel than anything with a plot. The plot in this is very loose. You are pretty much just following these astronauts as they are on this mission. There's no overarching goal or anything. It's just about them, their personal experiences, the things that they find. I think that this was good as a speculative look at what humanity may find on different planets, because the thing that all 4 of the places that they visit in this have in common is that they do have life on them. That is why they have been sent there, because these 4 places all have an atmosphere that suggests that life is capable and sustainable on this planet, but the different forms of life they find on each planet and the whole spectrum of what life really means and what type of things are alive is interesting. I will say that this is very science-based. There's a lot of science in here and a lot of scientific theories ranging from astrophysics to biology and atoms and things like that. Some of that did go a little bit over my head. Surprisingly, even though I really love science fiction, I'm not hugely scientifically minded. There's just something about it that I can't really wrap my head around. With me being a logical person, I'm sure if I did understand science a little bit more, then I would absolutely love it, but I'm just not science-based. It's never really interested me all that much. Elements of it have, but not as like a subject matter. So I give this 4 stars because, like I said, the first half was a little bit hard to get through with it being so slow. I've spent 3 days reading this and it's absolutely tiny, but I did like it overall because I do really like Becky Chambers. Speaking of Becky Chambers, actually, I have heard that there is a Wayfarer's book 4 coming that's just popped up on Goodreads out of nowhere. I actually haven't looked into that myself yet. Somebody pops it into my comments, but I would be very interested if there was. I mean, it's not impossible because it's not an overarching story. It is companion novels, so there's definitely possibility for more in that world. I just didn't think she was writing anything else, but I do also believe that she does have another book out in 2020 anyway, and I will of course be at least buying that even if I don't get to it this year. I haven't planned out my anticipated releases video yet, so I'm not sure when her book is set to release, but I think it might be summer. Oh, and this was on my Bookopoly TBR to read a sci-fi, and I used it for the Magical Readathon challenge to read a book that's shorter than the one I read previously. So I haven't gotten around to starting Obsidio yet, which was my last Magical Readathon book, and it's also on my Bookopoly TBR, and I actually don't think it will be the next book I start either, but I'm not going to tell you what that next book I'm starting is. It is on my Bookopoly TBR though, and it's the one that I'm super excited about, so you guys can probably guess, but I'll tell you next week when I'm reading it, because now is about the time to wrap up this vlog. Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction will be here next week. She is arriving tomorrow and she'll be leaving on Wednesday, and it's also Curtis's birthday, so I imagine we'll be going somewhere and doing something, although I don't know what yet. He hasn't decided what he wants to do. But that is about it for this week's vlog. My first week of self-employment went pretty well. I've had a pretty alright week, I would say. I hope you enjoyed this vlog if you made it this far, and please don't forget to like this vlog if you liked it and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you next week, guys. Bye.
Oh, you bite your friend like chocolate. You say you'll go where nobody knows, with guns hidden under our petticoats. We're never gonna quit it, no, we're never gonna quit it, no.